is up, comic fans?
Hey.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Well, welcome back to another edition of the Crypto Comics Couch, where we break down the comic book landscape and let you into our world. So, we got a lot of news to talk about, and as you can see, we have some guests with us tonight. Say hi, everyone.
Yo!
All right, we got Darren Davis, and then we got the Kryptic Empire in the house. All right.
You want to give them a chance to introduce themselves, Matt? Damn.
Sure. I thought everybody
I know
knew
you're
who these
excited.
people were.
Yeah.
He gets so excited, everybody.
I do. I get way too
apologize.
excited.
Okay, Darren, would you like to take it off? Would you like to intro yourself?
Yeah, I'm Darren Davis. I'm the publisher of TIDALWAVE Productions. We do comic books such like The 10th Muse and Legend of Isis and the new Dolly Parton comic book that has taken off. We are so excited about that book. So, female voice. So, super fun. Been doing comics for 20 years. You guys did our 20th anniversary. So,
It was a party.
it was party time.
We had fun. I
And
got
I'm
really drunk.
you. And I'm a collector of toys and comics and fun.
Same.
Speaking of collectors, we've got Ashley Massacre and Brodo from Kryptic Empire. And Brodo's Hobbit in the background again. Hey, he's got a shirt on this time.
I figured I'd dress him up a little bit this time, you know?
That was still one of the stranger things I've seen on our streams. We do some weird stuff. Yeah, he does the run. Yeah, for those of us not aware, we just I think that was last week, wasn't it? We just looked down and there's just a random nude guy in the background.
We gotta keep things interesting, you know?
Is that mine or his? Oh, sorry.
And we've also got Ashley's shoe collection because why not?
Yeah, it's an addiction. And then I started an addiction with him when I bought a couple comic books. I was like, let's test the waters. I have bought a lot of comic books in the last 2 weeks. Like a lot.
You'll have that.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of getting ridiculous.
We need like a bookshelf now a lot.
Yeah,
What are you into now, Brodo?
I've been so addicted to DC and Justice League comics. It's ridiculous. Like, I've gone through all, like, 1 through 3. I did the Dark Seed War and on all the spin-offs. And then now I'm working on Flashpoint, and I'm working on I did this Flashpoint comic book, the full one, and now I'm working on the Batman spin-off for Thomas Wayne.
Oh, that was such a good one.
So
Such a good one.
we have the entirety of Flashpoint now. We have the entirety of Rebirth, Justice League, the Infinity War, Old Man Logan, Watchmen's coming, various other things that I have forgotten is coming. We went a little crazy. I didn't think he would pick it up this much, and then he did, and I was like, all right, cool, yeah, let's do it. And then now it's like, to fall asleep, we just comic shop, and then wake up, and we're like, where'd our money go? And we're like, oh, yeah.
So do you get upset as a collector when you are reading Flashpoint and you're reading Rebirth, and then DC Comics decides to change everything and go, okay, we're going back to this and changing everything. And now it's a whole different universe that is nothing to do with what they did.
It depends on the comic. Like, some of it doesn't bother me. Sometimes it really bothers me. It's like hit or miss. It depends on which one I'm reading.
Right.
I like the way that they've kind of played it into it where there's different worlds and different dimensions and different universes, and then the way that Flashpoint's written, it's just like the same timeline, but something's been changed in the actual timeline to change everything. So it kind of they can explain it away enough to keep doing it, which is nice. But I mean, if they stick with the same thing, I mean, eventually I feel like they might run out of something to write about. So I haven't actually read anything but the new 52 yet. But I'm looking forward to the Rebirth because we have the full omnibus for that one, and I'm looking forward to reading that one.
You didn't miss anything with the new 52.
I love the new 52.
They brought Barbara
I love
Gordon,
it.
so I'm happy. They made her back as Batgirl. So happy. She's my favorite character.
I liked her as Oracle because it showed that, like, just because she was hurt, she still made herself invaluable to everybody.
And Oracle's a great character. But I loved Barbara Gordon from the very beginning. So it kind of sucked. And then now we have her back.
He's like,
but now she's kind of Oracle, and she's kind of they've screwed it once again.
I can't tell where they're going with her. And did she get married to Dick Grayson at one point in time? It seems like she did.
Yeah, and a fake in this dark metal universe, I guess it is. They married or something to that effect. But they will probably be doing a Batgirl film. I think it's going to be on HBO Max. They're doing it directly for that. So I do know that they want to utilize that character. So, and she is kind of a mainstay, like in DC Superhero Girls and like all the Batman animated series, which I hear they're actually trying to bring that back too now. So
okay. So say they do the Batgirl movie. Mm-hmm. First of all, I want to hear who everyone would want to play Batgirl if it's Barbara Gordon Batgirl. And secondary to this, do you want it to be like a Snyder type film where it's dark and gritty and that direction? Or do you think they should do it wholesome and family friendly and PG?
See, I think you could do a wholesome
PG, it's wrong. It's so wrong if it's PG.
I think they could still put it in the Snyder universe and still actually have more of a wholesome feel to it than even like Man of Steel. Try, like do it better.
Nolan trilogy.
Say again?
I want it to be like the Nolan trilogy.
Now who would you have play? I think Emma Watson. Honestly,
I think she's too old. I think she's too old now for that. I think Lily Collins would be a good choice. She's Emily in Paris, Phil Collins' daughter. So, yeah.
I say the girl that played Arya Stark.
Ooh, done.
I think that would work.
Done.
I didn't even think about her. Yeah.
You got that kind of naturally.
Emma
gritty.
Watson would be a good one too, though, because I didn't think Anne Hathaway would be able to do like Catwoman.
Right.
And then she did, and I was like, "Damn, you were fantastic as Catwoman. That was actually really, really good. I always see you in romantic comedies and all like."
Brodo's got a romantic comedy out.
Yeah.
Let me check in with chat real quick, guys. We got Rose Kirby says, hi, good morning from Rose. Hello, hope you had a great weekend. Just saying hello to all. What's up, Rose?
Hey, Rose.
And
always good to have you.
Difficulty reading the messages, so that's okay. We try to read them out. But thank you for joining us. It's like 4 a.m. in the UK right now. So
as much as she's jumped on chat, one of these days we should just have her on the show.
Yeah. Come and join us at 4 o'clock in the morning.
I would do it.
Got Andrew Dodge, a.k.a. the Crushmeister Supreme, saying, happy Monday. Hope it's been a good day. Aside from the stresses from work, it's been great for me. Added 3 new comics to my collection. I saw that.
Ooh. That's always a good day.
He got both covers of Dolly and I want to say 10th Muse.
Woohoo!
I think
nice.
What it was. Yeah. Jerk. I have to buy a whole bunch of comics now because his collection is starting to catch up to mine. And we can't have that.
Don't you just have every single comic in the store?
No. I wish.
Don't you have like an algorithm for that?
Do you mean in crypto comics in the marketplace?
Yeah.
Well, everyone right now can read for free, but as soon as we go live transactions, no, we will be buying comics right alongside everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Right on, though. That's good.
That way, we are supporting the creators just the same as any other user inside of the system, or it wouldn't be fair. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Also, that way it ensures that any reviews that our team leaves are honest reviews. You know, So,
I can't leave a fake review because then I open it up and I have to read it. Like even if I'm just like I'm not even gonna read it, I'm just gonna do it, and I'm like, no, I can't.
I didn't feel that way about these shoes.
Are you wearing the gold ones?
No, I'm not wearing the gold ones right now. I'm wearing some Nikes right now. I'm wearing
choice.
full out dad Nikes with the Velcro strap and everything.
Nice.
Oh wow!
Portland-based company that didn't pay taxes last year, but that's okay.
We got Dominic Colby on Facebook saying, "How is everyone?" I'm good. How are you?
Bueno, mi amigo.
Thanks for joining us. We got Jen Bug on Twitch saying, "Now y'all need a comic book intervention." LOL. Also, hi everyone. Nobody here needs a comic book intervention. I gotta get
No,
her.
it's
we
to the
need
point
more
that we've
comics.
accidentally
That's what
bought
we need.
We need a
doubles.
comic book convention.
Yes.
We could do that. We got Kryptic 3-3.
Unanimous agreement.
I think that's happening in June.
Oh, right.
Yep, we do have one coming up in June.
I was like, I'm pretty sure that's been a thing.
Kryptic T3 says, "I'll never run out of stories. Leave DC and come to T3."
How about all of it?
He says, "Batman, or Batgirl, I'm down. The girl that played the girl with the dragon tattoo should be her, I think."
I think isn't that the one that played in The Crown? She was the
I think, yeah.
But I think she's too old to for Batgirl. They have to find some unknown. And going back to that, and I think they should make it a little not lighter, but not super dark.
Really?
But serious, yeah. I think they're losing. It should have kind of that Marvel funness, like an Ant-Man kind of thing, where you can get newer viewers. So they're losing out on. DC doesn't know what they're doing with their movies or anything like that.
That's a really good point.
I've been noticing like their production in comic books is like absolutely top notch. Like it is phenomenal comic book production, and then as you start moving that scale forward, it just kind of starts losing its like taste, and it's everything like lose effort, and it's like by the time it gets to live action, you're like, what happened to DC? It's kind of like confusing.
AT&T, who owns them, is not a huge fan of DC, and so that's why they're struggling so much with the comic book world. So that their numbers are down. They're producing less books. They're no longer with Diamond. I think they're with Lunar now, and now Marvel is just leaving Diamond. So it's going to be really interesting to see what goes on the rest of this year with comic books.
Oh, yeah. We're going to be bringing that up tonight, too.
Well, before we go any further, be sure to chime in with your opinions today, guys. We absolutely love getting down and dirty with the comment section. So, yeah, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. Yeah, you'll get all the news you can handle.
Down and dirty.
Down and dirty.
Okay.
Continue on with chat
Call
here.
my lawyer.
We got Andrew Dodge saying they need to go back to the original style. Dark, but still PG-13.
Okay, listen, y'all need to watch Dark Apocalypse and then just let them do it that way. That was...
Bro
like,
just thinks everything should be Dark Apocalypse at this point.
I've turned to the dark side.
It's like every other like superhero movie, it's predictable. At the end of the movie, you're going to eventually have some sort of happy ending. It's nice, it's cool, but it's predictable.
You know what? Not every comic book movie did that. I got to say.
Any of like the ones that got a lot of attraction. I mean, all right, not an Endgame, but Infinity War Part 1. That one had like a really weird, awkward ending where you were like, you didn't leave the movie theater happy. You know what I mean? Like that kind of feeling that's not like you're not used to it is what I'm talking about. Like Dark Apocalypse was amazing. Man, are we messing up there or what?
Yeah, it looks like your camera is bugging out just a little bit.
This is what happens when you join the Matrix. So I gotta say that the Infinity War really had that Back to the Future Part 2 feel to it, where it was just a what the hell kind of thing, leaving the theater. So but it was still amazing.
Well, we got Leslie in chat saying, "Hey everyone, what's up, Leslie?"
Hey, what's up, Leslie?
Hey, boy, you say that smooth. Hey, what's up, Leslie? Kryptic D3 telling Andrew, "Hey, we got Mythix. What's up, Mythix? How you been?"
Having my camera.
Saying, "Hey, yo." Camera looks a lot better now, brother. Oh, I say that and then it starts glitching out.
It's because you said that. Yep.
We got JD Smith, Did Your Artist comes in, says, "Did I miss the NFT conversation?" Not yet.
Nope. That's still coming.
Just getting up to it here. Mivik says, "I echo previous statement."
Got it.
Let's see. Andrew Dodge says, "The third one is in Flesh and Spirit." Oh, great book. Great book.
Great production value.
Great production. Great publishing on that one.
Great publishing on that.
Dominic Colby says, "I'm waiting and hoping for TIDALWAVE to release a comic with my favorite celebrity. Heard a rumor that it might be in the works."
Who's your favorite celebrity, Dominic?
Yeah, let us know.
It was me, guys. They're going to do a comic on me. Nah.
We're totally doing We're totally doing you.
Please
That'd
don't.
be just the cover and one panel going, this guy doesn't do anything.
The man's
Really?
ego can barely fit through the door at this point when we go to conventions. I don't even think it would go onto a plane.
Thank
Yeah, Amy Fraser over on YouTube saying, "Howdy everyone. It's great to see Darren's joined tonight." Big old smiley face. Let's see here. Andrew Dodge said, "Just started stream. They just haven't gone over anything yet. Just intros. I know we're taking forever. I'm sorry." Kryptic
We
says,
do that sometimes, guys.
"Not as dark as the girl with dragon tattoo, but she would be good. She's really small, looks younger than she is. I think it would go over really well. You'd be amazed at what you can do with makeup. Look at Superman's mustache."
I must
Oh.
I'll shave it for later. Well, they got rid of that in the Schneider cut.
They did, yeah.
Yeah, that's totally gone.
They got rid of that and brunch. That alone should be worth an Emmy.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see. Rose suggesting to ask. We've got a parcel with a Relics T-shirt. What is it, giveaway, or did I win it? Yes, you did. You did win a shirt a while ago. I am not sure when it was sent. I know it was. Because you're in the UK, you do have quite a bit of stuff that it goes through to get to you, though, from us. So things like customs, everything like that. And if we need to, we can definitely talk off stream, Rose. If you want to shoot us a message on social media or from your dashboard, we can go over through some other options and things like that, of stuff that we can send you so that you're not kind of stuck with duty taxes or import fees or tariff fees or any of that kind of stuff. Because unfortunately, we do ship the things that are won to anywhere that somebody might be living. The downside there is that we can't control what, any other countries do.
One way we should probably just ship Jared with the shirt. So that way, there's no tariff or anything like that. He just leaves the shirt and comes back.
We just poke holes in the box.
Yeah, there we go.
Are they going to let Jared back in the country?
Maybe.
One can only hope. Not.
He'd figure out a way.
He'd start talking to him about conspiracies and stuff like that. They would ship him on purpose.
He'd be like, "I know you can get me in with those 5G shipments." JD Smith, Did Artist says the only DC movies that need to be dark is Swamp Thing and Batman. DC characters are colorful and slightly cheesy. They need to have fun. As much as Marvel gets crap, that family-friendly tone is what DC Comics has always had.
That's the way I see. Yeah,
I think they should go Super Friends. Not as cheesy as Super Friends, but just kind of like Shazam. Shazam was
great.
Shazam was amazing. Yeah,
all the Shazam kids, which I'm not a big fan of that. I'm fine with Freddy and Mary, but nobody else. I don't know where all these other kids come from. But I thought they did a good job, and it was fun. And yeah, I thought Aquaman was good too.
Mm-hmm. But now they're doing The Trench as well.
No, they're not.
They canceled that?
They canceled that and the Jack Kirby one. what's the Jack Kirby?
Were they doing like a biopic about Jack Kirby or something?
No, they were doing. He created what's that world? The Fourth World or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, they canceled doing that. They canceled
Okay.
I didn't even know they were.
Yeah.
Dominic comes back to say Jason David Frank when he was talking earlier about how.
Oh, is that Power Ranger guy?
Yeah, I think so. Right? That's the green one.
Yeah, it's a green.
The green one that somehow has a flute inside of his knife that he blows through a helmet. How does he do it?
I don't know. I don't think we're doing one on him. He wouldn't be my first Power Ranger to do if we were going to do him.
If you were going to do that, I would expect you to do a Voltron book then, because be realistic.
Voltron.
There's multiple generations here, and you can tell that age difference when somebody says Voltron or Power Rangers. You know what I mean? And us Voltron kids, we graduate college now. We're businessmen at this point.
I collect Power Rangers though.
Oh, I mean,
no, the actual people. So
yeah, I was gonna say you.
Like good friends, yeah. The Yellow Power Ranger actually married me and my husband. She officiated our wedding. But then I'm also friends with Karen Ashley, who's the second Power Ranger, Aisha from the first show, and then somebody I dated, his roommate was the Blue Power Ranger, David Yost. And then, so I'm just friends with Power Rangers. I never watched Power Rangers, so.
You need to have like a Power Rangers barbecue where you just get them all together,
Isn't that just called Power Con or Power Ranger Con or
maybe
or a convention?
I just picture Darren at the grill going, "Fight for your food, guys."
Yeah. Boop, 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 boop.
Blow on the flute through a helmet. Well, we got Kenji on Twitch saying Brodo has hair. What?
I haven't shaved it yet.
Yeah, it's gonna go soon. It's gonna go very soon.
Let's see. It felt like a copy of Big, the movie I meant, not the character.
Shazam. That's how I actually describe it. Like, it's a superhero version of Big, and everybody's like, "I would see that." And yeah, it did not disappoint. So
nobody's gonna really care about Black Adam. I'm like, I think it's fine. I think it's The Rock getting to do what he wanted to always do.
Yeah.
And it's not going to change anybody's viewpoint on DC movies. So.
What did he?
I don't think it will, but I'm still excited about it.
That was not okay.
Here comes Jared.
What did we say about shipping him?
J. Smith Jared says Voltron, Power Rangers, Ultraman.
Ooh.
Crutcher agrees with me with Voltron. Let's see. We got
Voltron.
Somebody telling me that we can become famous by buying followers.
Oh,
yeah, let's do that.
Dominic Colby on Facebook says, "I know you're friends with all the Power Rangers. I would give anything to befriend a Power Ranger. I'm super jelly."
Hey, a lot of my friends who are the Power Rangers, they interact, a lot on social media. So if you go on Instagram and talk to them, they are super kind, nice people that always do it. So
there you go, Dominic. Just say that Darren sent you.
Yep.
Send a message and be like, "Darren, give me your personal phone number."
He said we're having a barbecue.
Kryptic comes to say, "In our hearts, deep down, we're all Power Rangers."
I feel like I'm a mini lion bot.
Power Rangers, go! Or wait, no, is that what they do?
No, that's not what they. Nope.
This is in my office, and this is how it actually is with the Mickey Mouse hat on it. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's a custom helmet thing. So, and it came with
pull you full
this
screen.
This is an expensive Halloween costume. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah.
So,
How many times do you wear that just for fun?
never.
Never?
It comes with the slutty tank top. Yeah.
And you haven't tried either of them on?
I've tried this on. It just you can't breathe in it, and it hurts. So
It hurts.
yeah, because it's like it's not really meant for wearing full time,
Oh,
and it will chafe.
oh, so you just put it on, take the picture, take it off. Don't
Exactly. Boop, boop, doo, doo, boop, boop.
pose.
All right.
Okay.
So, should we get into the blog a little bit?
Yeah, so let's go into our blogs here.
All right. So, first up, as you guys know, it was April Fool's a couple of days ago. So, we wrote this blog post about the greatest comic book pranks April Fool's pranks in comic book history. And I got to say, some of these, I had a lot of fun doing some research on it. For example, it starts off, Stan Lee started taking credit for Century, saying that he had created it back in the 60s and had forgotten about it, which actually, when they essentially went through his old desk and found it, that's when they kind of changed the origin to where he was the forgotten superhero. So it was kind of cool. A lot of people kind of bought into that before they realized it was April 1st. So, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen did a cover that was an 80s edition.
Dude,
So,
Big Trouble
I
Little
mean-
China.
yeah, we have Big Trouble Little China, Mr. T, Doc, and Marty. And then you also have Lisa from Weird Science.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, also,
Vibe.
Paco Ramon, or Cisco Ramon for the current Flash fans. So Paco had died about 20 years ago in the comics, and Jeff Johns and Ethan Van Sciver announced following their Flash and Green Lantern Rebirth series that they were going to be doing a Vibe rebirth, and it was supposed to be the end all. Obviously, it was an April Fool's Day, so there was also a spin-off announced for The Walking Dead for kids.
Isn't that just cooties?
Oh,
Yeah, basically.
that's
So
Like they already did that movie.
they also, let me see, DC announced that they were going to bring back the trunks for everybody because Superman started wearing his underwear on the outside again. Now,
oh.
it was fine for Batman and Wonder Woman, but I mean, when you have Green Lantern in tidy whities,
No, that's awesome.
that
That's-
was not so good. There was also an in-universe joke with Spider-Man. A lot of people were always, in the Spider-Man universe, in the Marvel universe, wondering if Spider-Man was a mutant because the mutants got their powers around, early teens, when they're going through puberty. And that was about the same age that Spider-Man got his powers. And he couldn't actually say, like, I got it from a spider bite at Oscorp, or else everybody know who he is. So there was always is he a mutant or not within the Marvel universe. So they announced and even had a sketch of his new costume for Spider-Man and the X-Men series that was announced.
Well, that's fantastic.
Then my all-time favorite was back in 1997, the newspaper comic strips got into it, and they had everybody drawing everybody else's comics just for one day. So we had For Better or Worse being drawn by the artist from Mother Goose and Grimm. And then, of course, Mother Goose and Grimm was drawn by For Better or Worse. You have Garfield and Dilbert. Just everybody is just kind of mashed up, and it was so great.
That is good. That's cool.
So they wrote each other's that they drew.
They wrote and drew each other's comic.
Oh
yeah.
wow, that's
Family
cool.
Circus.
Oh yeah, the Family Circus. I love that. And then you have this one. I believe it was called Dillard, And the whole joke was, well, what if you're bad enough that nobody else will swap with you? And he's like, well, I guess the artist could draw with his left hand. And he actually did this whole, these 4 panels by drawing with his left hand. So, you know, that was awesome. All right. Next up, we have an article written by none other than our Lindsay. So kind of takes your NFT collection digital with Crypto Comics. So this one kind of explains, just breaks everything down. What is an NFT? How does it translate to comic books with Crypto Comics? And it really, really got to read this. It explains it in a non-nerd format, I should say. Is that how you'd say it, Fry? Like,
yes.
Okay.
And it explains it in a way that it doesn't sound like techno jargon from me.
Yeah. See, every time I try to explain it, I'm really like, comic books, and this is how it's comic books. And then I come across as
comic books, man. That's all you gotta know.
I come across as the collector. Fry comes across as the nerd, the detailed nerd.
Yeah,
And
you tripped up those words for a second there, didn't you? You were wanting to call me something else, buddy. What's up? Your lips looked like you were going to make an F sound right there. What's up? We need to have a talk? We need to have a chat there, Matty?
Great. Now HR is going to be on me. What were you about to say? Nothing.
With me? I'm just kidding. He loves me.
Premeditated insulting.
Yeah, right.
For all the
But no, if
research.
you guys want to really understand NFTs, this article right here, it will break it down for you. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that because I still don't get it. And you guys have tried to explain it to me right before the show. I still don't get it.
we can't do it. We can't do it justice like Lindsay can. Lindsay is like one of the smartest people on our team that doesn't like to be seen by anybody. So she's really
she
the
does
person.
exist, guys.
Like the opposite of Jerry.
Yeah.
We've got like a handful of really, really brilliant people on
Whatever,
our team.
Brodo.
And then,
What?
and then the 3 of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're just like, hey, we get free shirts.
Yeah, we're just looking at everybody like, you guys pointed the cameras at us? Okay.
That was a mistake. All right, so let's go.
All
What
right.
do we got up next? Procreate for comics. This one I thought was really interesting.
This one, so I'm doing a series of kind of how-to for comic books, and I started to get into coloring, and I noticed that I was using a lot of the features that we don't really talk about too much. So I wanted to kind of break down.
Because they're secret.
Yeah, I wanted to break down some of the kind of hidden features within Procreate. Everything from creating the canvas size that you want, just how to do the paint bucket correctly, because if you just do it the normal way, you're going to end up with a weird ring. You have to use it to understand it. And then I just wanted to break it, things down like alpha lock, just to make things a lot easier. So, and exporting videos within it. And there's a lot of gesture controls that you can do with it. Now, just opening up Procreate, you would think that it's, first off, I got to say it's one of the worst names for an app I've ever.
I think it's brilliant.
I think it's really good. I've actually used this on my iPad.
Oh, I love this app. It's one of my favorite apps. But like I said, I also teach school. And so I was like, yeah, I need Procreate. And they're like, what in God's name are you teaching in that class? And I was like,
oh, I never made that connection until you just said that.
Oh,
really?
We all love
Really?
Procreate.
I never even thought about it that way. Y'all are dirty.
What?
You lie. You are so lying.
Y'all are bad.
Oh my!
okay.
He's look at him playing all innocent and stuff.
Procreate. You
We
know
love
what
a
I mean?
good Procreate.
Yeah.
I'm Procreator. So there.
Oh boy. So, when you first open this app, it seems like it's just a very watered down drawing app. And then I started noticing all this other stuff and I started watching tutorials and I was like, oh, there's so much more you can do with it. And so I've been transitioning away from kind of paper and pencil to Procreate. And, I'll still bring it into either Photoshop or Illustrator to kind of touch it up a little bit. But man, this is such a fun app to use. And so, yeah.
All right. Well, we got Kryptic in chat saying Jared is a Procreator, and Jared quit highlighting chat. All right. We know you want to make sure that gets shown, but you stop it.
Just wanted to make, thank you.
I don't know
Thank
why
you,
you
Kryptic
skipped this
T3.
one though, Jared. JD Smith, Digi Artist says, by the way, how did Mrs. Bug take to his sideburns being in the middle of his head?
She loved it, actually. She got me a really cool poster.
Yeah? Of what?
You want to see it?
Yes.
Obviously.
Do we?
It's probably a giant post.
Ever.
Now, I have to be careful because I'm not sure what I can show you. So, here, we'll see what we can do here.
Are you naked?
Is that South Park?
Oh, cool. Is that your family?
Yeah.
That's rad.
Are you
That
man,
is cool.
Are you Man Bear Pig?
Yes. Yes, I is. Don't tell nobody, though. Ain't that the coolest?
That is cool. That is really
That's what
cool.
she did. That's what she did for my super killer in the middle of my cheek sideburns.
That's pretty cool. JD
Yeah,
Smith,
she was
Digi Artist asks, is that Mr. Russell's art in the Procreate article header? I'm definitely going to check this out. It looks helpful.
No, that is not my art in the header of that image. Now that I think about it, I probably should have
Jeez,
done
Matt.
that. But
No,
Jeez,
it's
Get it
it's
together.
a public-facing blog for a company. You should use images that we have licensing rights to, like that image.
Oh, yeah, that.
Wait, which one?
I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. The last thing I need is, Darren Davis to come by, swoop up M. Scott Russell, and then come back 14 years from now and be like, you know what? Everything that he drew for your
I'm
blog,
friends with
gotta
the Power
remove it.
Rangers.
Can he do that?
I mean, possibly. I don't think Darren would.
Wait a minute. Quick, hurry. Get rid of it before he go. Oh, phew.
Hi. You're
Don't
dead.
steal our talent.
Amy Fraser says, Jared, that is flipping awesome. Dominic says, speaking of the sideburns, today is my first day in a long time being beardless. I go back to work tomorrow. My face is cold.
oh,
It's a brave thing. It's a brave thing.
Well, I don't know, man. I know some people get very attached. AKA
And then
Brodo.
people shave it off of those people. And
Hey, I can understand. I mean, when you get it so long, it takes a long time to get it there. And there's always the shit stage, right? So you always go through the shit stage. And once you're past it, it's like, oh, this is nice, And yeah,
Oh.
Is that what it's like?
it is. It's like
we're calling it that. Okay.
Okay.
I gotta say, it was about 6 months ago that I went to trim the beard, and I trimmed it a little too short. You remember that, Fry?
Mm-hmm.
I was crying for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks it took you to get it back to where it was when you messed up?
Yeah.
Ooh.
I know. Unlike you, Jared, Mister, I could, just push it out real quick and poof, done.
It doesn't work like that, bud.
Dude, you should see
go to
this guy
sleep.
at convention.
I go to sleep. I wake up. Poof! It's back.
Yeah, I know. You ever seen like Santa Claus with Tim Allen when he shaves and it just instantly is back? That's like Jared at conventions.
That's true.
It's seriously not fair.
Or is it?
Good point.
Jenny Smith,
I
the
am
artist,
seeing
comes
it.
in on chat to say, I'm half convinced that Jared is a weremonkey.
I think it's probably true.
Speaking of monkey, it would be the Godware monkey, just so you're all familiar with the right thing.
What?
Godware monkey?
I'm going to need a 23andMe test.
It's a Jet Li thing. Don't worry, it's a Jet Li thing.
No, I think Darren had it right. You're just man, bear, pig.
Yeah, that's what you look like the other day.
I don't look like man wear pig anymore.
Kryptic T3 on Twitch comes in to say, oh man, hearing Matt say, oh God, push it through is going to haunt my dreams.
Why is this stream so dirty today?
Seriously, yeah, what is going
Get
on,
your minds
guys?
out the gutter, guys. We
Well,
haven't said anything wrong yet.
Technically speaking,
Yet.
Christ started it.
I didn't do a
I think
damn
Matt
thing.
started it with the procreating.
Oh, that's what did it. Yeah, guys, get your minds out of the gutter before we get in
Worst
trouble.
name out there.
I'm not going to be able to hang out with you guys if you keep getting me in trouble.
The
I've
thing that I
used
find
that app
interesting.
You won't be able to procreate.
Yeah, okay, there it is. I was about to say the thing I find interesting is that Darren doesn't have his witty quips coming out left and right tonight. But right as I was getting ready to say it, he jumped right in on it.
Where's the wine at, Darren?
I know, I'm tired.
Oh, dude, today has been a freaking busy day.
So, should we get into
feel you.
upcoming videos real quick before we get into
Right.
the news?
Right after I ask everybody that's watching to please like, subscribe, hit the little bell notification to know when we go live. Make sure you guys go out and find Darren Davis and TIDALWAVE on social media. Go to Amazon and buy print edition of Darren's books. You can just type in TIDALWAVE Productions or TIDALWAVE Comics. Both of those searches will get you there. Or you could just go to the comic books page and look at number 1 because Dolly Parton is still number 1.
Ooh, that's awesome.
It's like Jared, what?
Is that me?
Is that me?
And while you're doing that, guys, make sure you go and find Kryptic Empire on social media as well. On Twitch, look for Brodo. Or Kryptic Brodo. I'm sorry.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right.
Yes,
and
sir.
Ashley_Massacre. All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Woo!
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm getting good at doing that part.
Oh,
I didn't
All
have to
right,
open my
guys.
notes this time.
So,
my headset's dying.
I got to tell you,
Thank
everybody, next Monday, so a week from today, Fry and I,
Thank you for clarifying that. I wasn't sure when next Monday was.
Bob, Matt,
the
Matt,
sarcasm is so rich tonight.
before you continue, Matt,
Yeah?
on upcoming videos, Darren did call out Jared. So next week on Couch on this show, same bat time, same bat channel, it's going to be the face-off, Darren versus Jared, or the Darren and Jared takeover, or
Woo!
I don't know how we're gonna market this.
The Jaren take.
There'll be wine.
The Jaren takeover. I like
Wine
Jaren.
is flowing.
What happened? What did you announce?
Darren v.
Nothing, Jared. Nothing.
Your beard's leaking.
My beard's leaking.
I don't know. that's
Those
kinda
are
what it looks like.
tears. Those are tears
Oh,
from watching. Never mind.
What were you watching?
a DC
Uh-huh.
movie.
All right, now what were you about to say?
I'm like 2/3 of the way through Snyder Cut, and it's been making me tear up a little.
Really?
I can tell.
Oh, what part did you find this
Me
out?
and
Actually,
Darren.
I'm just kidding. These are my enemies' blood marks as it rolls down my face after a battle.
Your enemies bleed hair.
Speaking
Yeah.
of good movies, King
kind of
or
people you
Godzilla
like?
vs. Kong was amazing.
Yeah,
I
dude.
thought that movie was a joke.
No.
That was crap. That was absolute crap.
It was such a letdown.
It
Okay,
was.
how?
Thank you,
How?
Ashley.
Yeah,
First off, the plot of that movie. What?
Okay, wait a minute. Excuse me. We're talking about Godzilla, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Versus Kong.
And you didn't like the fact that Godzilla and Kong fought, and Godzilla and Kong fought Mechzilla. You didn't like any of that.
Maybe
That
Okay,
wasn't a great
wouldn't have had-
plot line or storyline.
real quick.
Spoilers.
Anyone that's watching, spoiler alert, and I apologize.
I'm just
Oh,
gonna say
son of a
You guys got a
bitch.
big mouth.
I
The-
do have a big mouth. I'm so sorry, everybody.
Build-up
We're going to have to put a warning on
to
this
such
now.
a short.
Cyborg dies in Justice League Snyder. Here you go, Jared.
You fucked idiot. Come on.
Do you know, okay, so the King Kong or the King Kong movie that it's the #1 movie of 2021. It's the highest box office grossing movie right now.
Yeah.
Wow. I thought it was
That
great.
doesn't make it good. That just means it made money.
Oh no, totally. I agree. I have not seen it yet. I've heard mixed reviews, but at the end of the day, you just have to think you're just seeing two big monsters fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love-
Well,
I work
bad-
with these two. I get it once a week at least.
It's not a bad movie. I could watch it. It's just a letdown.
What were you
if
wanting? What were you
got rid of
expecting?
all the plot and just had the action sequences, I'd watch that again and again because the action sequences were good. But when they tried to add the
Pacific
plot
Rim
to it,
2.
yeah,
What?
Pacific Rim 2. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
So the first one was awesome. You get
Right.
It was.
battles, you get the kaiju all the time, and then you get the
Right.
second one, it's the John Boyega show, and you get 5 minutes of monsters at the end.
yeah.
Okay. All right. That.
Am I
damn,
wrong,
she's good.
Jared?
Damn, no, you're not, Ashley. You're a goddess. Damn.
Same thing with Godzilla versus Kong. Build it up.
Well, I mean, since you put it that way, but there was a lot more fighting in Godzilla versus Kong
Well, yeah,
because
'cause
of the
it's Godzilla,
spoiler
but-
alert.
Yeah.
You know, and the way that it went down was rather like perfect, man. You know,
Is this a trilogy or is it going to be? Is there a sequel to this?
I think in the TV series, this is where it ended, if I'm not mistaken. Was there another one? Was there another monster after the spoiler alert?
I don't think so. I think it came to a head because they're both consider themselves alphas.
Yeah. But then it had a happy ending.
Yeah, they were
Like a
in Middle Earth, dude, which is like flat Earth, which is real, guys.
I don't know. Middle Earth opens them up to a
It's a
whole nother
donut.
environment, though. So there could be.
See,
other
when you
things
say
happening.
Middle Earth, I think of like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I think that way.
I'm
too.
just picturing like King Kong versus hobbits and crap like that.
The trolls.
Am I the only
Or
person in
Mordor.
the country that has zero interest in this movie?
Nope, I'm with you. I'm just
Okay.
No, there's two of you.
Like my entire social media feed blew up with people talking about it, and I was like, "They made another Godzilla movie? Is
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick in it?"
No,
and everybody just
they're-
got mad at me.
Wow.
You know, I actually did enjoy every Godzilla movie, just kind of on its own.
Even the
I
old
like the
ones.
King Kong movie. Oh, I love the old ones, but the Matthew Broderick one I thought was fun, and I gotta say, it did have a great soundtrack.
Very good
Yeah.
soundtrack.
I fell asleep
Not wrong.
playing the last one. The last Godzilla one.
That Godzilla was weird, though.
That's how I
Was
am
there-
with Man of Steel. I cannot stay awake for that movie.
She
I
did though. She
Finally
did.
did all these years later, like a week ago.
Yeah.
It was hard, but I did it. I finally finished it.
You and the rest of the country.
We're proud.
It was a
Proud
struggle,
Darren says.
but I did it.
Oh,
Now, as Kryptic brings up, yeah, it was free on HBO. That's the only reason I watched it. There's no way I was going to go to theaters to watch it.
Are there any theaters open?
Yeah, theaters are starting to open now.
Oh, they are? Oh, shit,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
All right. So, speaking of movies, you know, with the whole Snyder cut that had come out, and then there was people asking for the Ayer cut of the Suicide Squad. There exists somewhere out there, and I swear to God, I thought this one was an April Fool's Day prank, but it came out on April 2nd. Somewhere out there, there is a 20-hour cut of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
I loved this movie. I don't know why people hated it.
I actually haven't watched like all of it yet.
I don't think I've
I've
seen
only been able to see bits and pieces of it.
People
and
either love it or they hate it.
Hell yeah,
I
20
loved
hours
it.
of pure. I don't
Margot
know.
It's
Robbie.
Quentin Tarantino. You can't go wrong.
I
mean,
thought
you
so
might.
until I met a bunch of people who absolutely hated this movie, and I don't talk to them anymore.
Well, you said through the 20-hour cut.
I could watch Margot Robbie for 20 hours.
Okay, I get that.
Yeah.
This one kind of, I would not sit through it 20-hour cut. If your movie fails, you don't get another shot. Richard Donner, I think, was like the only one to get a shot. You don't get another cut. Are they going to do a Wonder Woman 84 new cut? Because
Are they going to do every DC movie over again?
Totally.
They already did.
They did it again. And now Batman is part of Batman, the one with Robert Pattinson. It's now Earth 2 Batman.
Yeah.
I have a thing. You know, going through the Snyder. Am I the only one that thinks that Batman looks a little swollen in his outfit?
You like that?
No. No, at all. Actually, he looked like it looks so too much over the top, swollen. He's like swollen up. He's like, whoa, I can barely like. I just got
Is it worse than perpetual like nipples?
Oh,
We have an agreement. We don't bring up the bat nipples on the show, Ashley.
I'm a
He
little
just
Baker Fry.
He just got stroking on that one.
Jared.
Are you wiggling around?
I don't even know anymore.
Stroking.
Oh,
Jared.
okay. Oof.
Yeah.
I did get to go to the premiere of the Bat Nipple movie.
What?
I went to the premiere for the Bat Nipple movie.
Whoa. Are you serious?
Yeah. I went to, yeah.
Are you friends with the bat nipples as well, Darren?
What?
Were they at your wedding?
I collect accents.
Everyone
Your
else
best
was.
man.
It was the ring bearer. Come on.
Daniel.
Oh, Daniel! Hi, Daniel.
Hey,
Do the Trump impression.
Wait, was it yesterday? We need to get fired.
Well, yeah.
Oh man.
When I worked at Entertainment Television, I got to go to some premieres, and one of my really good friends was at Kiss FM, which was the #1 radio station in LA, and she would always need a date too, so I would get to go to a lot of things. So I went to like 2 of the Batman premieres, Batman and Robin, and Batman Forever, Interview with the Vampire. Yeah, I get to meet the Bat Nipple guy in person. But
Bat nipple guy.
that was like, yeah, that was a hard one. And I worked.
We know what year it was.
And I worked at DC during, I think, the Bat Nipple one, and so I ended up getting to see the movie like 3 or 4 times even before it came out. And so,
By the time nipples appeared on big screen,
Yeah.
you were over it.
yeah.
oh my God.
No, I'm kidding.
So, shall we move on to the next article
Yeah.
that we got?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well,
This is a good one.
speaking of the Robert Patterson Batman, though, there is a news story about that. We should pull that up. I know it was down the list a little bit further, Matt. Sorry, but
You're gonna get the
Let me
Twilight Girls
see.
hate you. It's Pattinson.
Pattinson.
Yeah, the
Jeez.
Twilight Girls are gonna kill you.
Yeah, they are.
It's the sparkly Batman.
The sparkly Batman, exactly.
That's what I'm going with.
I'm not seeing that other article. What are you talking about?
Oh.
I thought I saw it earlier, but
Yeah, I did too. Let me see if I can find it. You had an article in there about all of the
Oh,
all
that's
the
right.
characters.
All of the characters that were supposed to be in the new
all the
Batman
villains.
movie. Unfortunately, when I was reading the article, it was everybody that they already announced.
Oh, was
So, yeah, I was like, they literally, I mean, it was like, oh, we're going to have Alfred in it. Well, duh.
Why wouldn't you, guys?
what?
Oh my
it? So does that mean Macaulay Culkin is not
was
going to
magic.
play the Joker?
It's
all
just
I'm really
like
wondering.
magic.
Have you guys seen that on the
Which
internet
one?
yet?
Macaulay Culkin?
Huh?
Yeah, there's this huge. It started on Reddit, and there's a ton of people that firmly believe that Macaulay Culkin should be the Joker.
I'm not.
Opposed.
Yeah.
That would be sweet.
Dude, that would actually be pretty good.
I
I
say
would
the
actually-
Scarecrow if you look at him.
I mean, if you can get past this, like
No,
Macaulay
he would be
Culkin, he
awesome.
has that
He's
stretch
creepy.
head. He could really have a wicked smile. Like
So he
set
got
up.
the
He's got a
painted
long,
nails.
elongated face, and he's really like pasty and tall and skinny.
I'm pasty, short, and skinny. I can be-
Sorry about that.
Is he even working anymore?
I don't
the
know.
last thing that I saw
haven't
that he
seen it.
did was that YouTube video where he was like grown-up kid from Home Alone,
Oh yeah.
talking about how his parents were terrible parents and kept losing
Oh,
him. I was like,
yeah.
you're not wrong.
Yeah, it took him.
That is a pair of terrible parents.
So, but is he
Yeah.
really like? Are they really actually thinking of him? Like, is that for real?
I mean, the internet wants it to happen.
Oh, okay. Well, the internet doesn't lie. Thank God
Yeah,
for
it's
that.
against the law for them to lie.
Yeah,
Jerry?
I
It
haven't
is.
seen a new Tim Burton movie that people that everybody wants to see all the time. Beetlejuice, people keep sharing that. I was like, that's not
dude,
coming.
I freaking love Beetlejuice.
I would love to get a Beetlejuice sequel, but
me too. And people keep starting it up again. It's coming, and I'm like, not confirmed.
It's not coming. There's no-
Well, JD Smith Didyartis says how Willie Defoe hasn't been the Joker yet as criminal. Stop talking about Home Alone.
Sorry about that, did you?
Dominic asks, is there a comic or something that talks about what Alfred did before he was a butler?
Well, that's Pennyworth is the TV show.
yeah. They also, in the Nightwing series, he got into a little bit of his past, talking about how he was,
Billionaire.
yeah. What was that?
That he's a billionaire and he left. That's just kind of a spoiler, I guess.
Hey,
Gosh, darn it,
this
Darren.
is the spoiler episode, man. I love it. Thank you, Darren.
Well,
Thank
that's in the
you.
comic books. That's in the comic books. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, sure it is. Well, I'm sure it is. Like,
Yeah, you don't even have to argue anything with Jared on comics because likely he hasn't read it.
All right.
He's
my
our
mic
newbie.
on? Is this
So
on?
there's kind of an old story about Marvel copying DC on a lot of characters such as Hawkeye, Green Arrow, Namor, and Aquaman. Although actually, I believe Namor came out first on that one, but like Man-Thing and stuff. Well, now they're introducing a new villain to the Avengers, who is essentially Poison Ivy. Yeah, so everything about her is the new villain is named Harrower. Everything about her is
Total
essentially
ripoff.
an exact copy of Poison Ivy. So
Hey, Disney's got to get on this climate change train somehow. Okay.
Hey, is that in their comic books that they're doing right now, or what?
yes,
Mhm.
yes, this is in the Avengers. Avengers.
We gotta order that.
Buy more.
Avengers Curse of the Man-Thing is what it's called. So,
What?
and Man-Thing was another kind of close ripoff to Swamp Thing. So,
Oh, it wasn't a close ripoff. It was a ripoff.
well,
Straight
they
up.
came out within a month of each other. So, who actually came out with the idea first versus who got to print first is kind of up in the air.
Chicken came before the egg type.
I think in the
No,
Man
it's
Thing.
more like, did I get this trademarked before you?
Well, I think in the case of Man Thing, it was just two creators kind of on the same wavelength. Both came up with a character that was very similar around the same time. So,
Like, whatchamathinger?
Or was it corporate espionage?
Oh!
That's the way I like to think of these.
oh yeah.
I like
All
to
right.
imagine there was somebody hired to like go in as like a mail delivery driver or something
and place a bug.
Be like,
and then
all
they
right,
listen to
homeboy's drawn like a garbage looking man right now. And they're like, oh, what? And he's like, yeah, he's got like, I don't know, tofu or something all over his hair. And he said Swamp Thing.
Tofu.
You know, and then he runs back over to Marvel. Like that, or someone brilliant was just planting seeds in both art departments at the same time.
No, they all know each other and talk to each other. They were probably talking, and dude was like at a beer, and they're like, "Hey, dude, man, I got this idea, this like Swamp Thing," and this other dude's like, "Yeah, you know, I was thinking Man Thing," and they're just talking about the same idea with each other, but they work for two different places.
What do you think,
over
Darren?
beers.
Who would win in a fight? I don't even care about either one of them. So.
Dude, I'll tell you who would win in a fight, dude. Man Thing.
Nope, Swamp Thing, man.
Yeah, Swamp
Man
Thing.
Thing would totally win in a fight, dude.
Jared, you don't know comics. It's Swamp Thing.
Dude, Man Thing.
Any comic
sounds
consumer
cooler.
that does not buy that book becomes the winner, I think.
Even the dogs don't like it.
Yeah. Who let the
All right. So the next article, I really want to get everybody, especially your opinion, Darren, on this next one.
Oh,
Here we
dude,
go.
wait. Just 1 second.
Oh.
Just 1 second.
Hi.
Digi did it, though. Let's agree that the thing wins. That's right. Good job, Digi.
Sorry about the close up on my forehead, Jared.
No, that
doesn't
was
know how to
awesome,
use
dude.
That
the
was
software.
me. I clicked the
You were like-
wrong button.
Boom.
I was like, "What's up? There's Fry."
Oh Lord! Before you show that though, let me jump back into chat here real quick, guys. JD Smith Artist says the leaked script of the Pattinson's Batman is actually a figment of the Riddler's insane imagination, and that he's actually the Riddler and not Batman. Sounds crazy.
What?
I haven't heard that. That sounds
You
gnarly.
know, with all the leaked scripts lately, there's been
It
so
wouldn't
much
surprise
that, yeah, I mean, Marvel purposefully seems like they're leaking stuff that's never going to end up in the movies. So
Just to test the waters or what? Are they leaking
Yeah.
it?
I think just to kind of mess with the people like us that, you know, go through all the previews frame by frame, trying to see if we can figure out, oh no, I know what plot they're doing. It's from this comic, and you know,
You guys are easy targets.
oh yeah.
Kryptic T3 comes in to say, how did they not laugh the entire time they were making the first issue? Here, sir, the first pages of the giant-sized man thing.
That was a good one.
JD Smith Artist says, let's all agree that the thing wins.
See?
Oh, jeez.
That was great. Sorry I brought that one up earlier, but it was so perfectly timed.
Oh, jeez. Here you go. J. Smith Artist comes in to say, if you guys like my Riddler idea for the Batman movie, Darren, have DC call me.
Ooh, yeah.
That'll be the sequel.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it'd fit right in with everything else DC does because nothing makes a damn bit of sense.
Not at all.
We'll just say it's another one of the multiverse Earths.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot of multiverse things going on right now.
All right.
Speaking
So-
of, yeah.
Well, speaking of what? What were you speaking of, Darren?
So we were talking about this one earlier, guys. We're
What?
talking about Marvel breaking away from Diamond and how that's affecting the industry.
Well,
So
I
let's
think
all breathe.
yeah,
First, Darren, breathe. But
right,
we have so many questions for you right now, Darren.
Oh
So
yeah.
be ready. Okay, first of all, Darren, do you think that this is going to benefit Marvel as a publisher? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. Let me roll back and make sure that everybody's
Let's
on the same
explain
page.
what's going on first.
Yeah,
The hell
sorry.
up!
Okay.
I'm like so confused right
So-
now.
Hey, I gotta know.
It seems like Marvel signed, and they keep saying it's an exclusive deal with Penguin Random House, for the distribution of their comics. But at the same time, Diamond jumped back in there and essentially worked in another deal, like literally within 4 hours of this deal going public. So it sounds to me like Penguin is the exclusive Marvel distributor. Unless you don't want to buy from Penguin, then you can just order from Diamond. That's what I got from all of this.
But Diamond is still getting it from Penguin anyways.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna kind of kill the single issues.
This war that they're having?
Everything is gonna go to ebook for single issues, and then they'll trade paperback it and make it into, because Penguin, they have really great distribution, so they're gonna comic book stores. It's gonna be a harder time for comic book stores because bookstores are gonna be able to order this, and they're gonna get a deeper discount. So it's going to professionalize, because Diamond's not the most professional company, to be honest. I dealt with them. They don't know what they do. They don't know what they're doing in the book market. We got into Walmart with them, and we sold like 20,000 Justin Bieber graphic novels, and then 14,000 of them got returned. And we asked, hey, well, what happened? They go, well, that's Walmart. And so a company like ours knows how to, like, we were a small company. We can't take that many returns. But a company like Marvel can take returns. And with Penguin, I think it's just going to change everything so much. And you're not going to see as many single issues anymore.
So Penguin's not replacing Diamond. They're just a different way of distribution.
I think they are going to replace Diamond. But as what you were saying, Matt, is that you can still buy them from Diamond?
Yeah, It's really weird. It seems like, and I mean, what Fry was mentioning earlier was that it seems like Diamond is still getting basically the same amount of money with half the work now.
Yeah,
so
because they don't have to actually print the books now, the way I see it. They just
Diamond doesn't print the books.
Yeah, so they just forward your order. So, say Jared is a local comic book shop. Okay. He pushes in an order for 15 of the new Thor.
Okay.
Diamond just takes that order, cuts a little bit of the money off the top of it, and hands that order right over to Penguin now.
So, how long do you think Diamond's going to last with DC leaving them and now this big problem? It's only a matter of time that Diamond's gone. So.
Yeah, I think the writing's been on the wall for a few years now, and I think the pandemic just kind of closed the lid on Diamond, personally.
So just for someone, I just want to ask one quick question, just so in my own head I understand this. Diamond doesn't print the books?
No.
They're just a distributor that has connections to the stores.
Yeah.
So way back when, you guys, the early Comic Book Code Authority, the reason the government actually stepped in wasn't initially because of the controversy surrounding the comic book characters and stuff like that. It was the government wanting to go after the Teamsters, the drivers, in specifically New York. So they essentially kind of put their money behind the comic book. What was that guy's name? Wortham, I believe. Seduction of the Innocent was where he claimed that, for example, Batman was homosexual because of his living situation with Robin. Just stuff like that didn't really quite make sense. But then you also had him going after characters like Wonder Woman with their kind of S&M vibe to it. And that's honestly really hard to defend. The early Wonder Woman stuff, it's hard to defend. So eventually it was a company that eventually kind of became Diamond that stepped up and was like, we're going to distribute it, which kind of took a lot of the power away from the government going after the Teamsters. But the Comic Book Code Authority was already in place by that time, and so in the end, what became Diamond did save the comic book industry at the time.
Interesting.
That's kind of a false positive, though. Diamond saved them from
only to put them under lock and key.
But but Diamond was not responsible for comic books going to 7-Elevens. So that was another distributor that would do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but going into comic book stores, Diamond was pretty much, there was 2 of them, and then they became the exclusive one, and then they have a monopoly. And now the monopoly is kind of shaking up because there are so many ways to distribute your books differently. Everybody's kind of doing these like weird Kickstarter things, and you're not needing a distributor as much. We're through Ingram, which is a book distributor, but with Diamond, I just think the thing that makes Diamond special, that this is going to hurt comic creators, is Diamond's books are not returned. Like if you order a book at Diamond, comic book stores own that book. They cannot return it. But if I were to sell it to Barnes & Noble, Barnes & Noble can return the book. And but all comic book stores are not. And so that's how a lot of so there's a lot of risk involved for the comic book stores, retailers. And so this is going to change that. There's going to be returns now. So
ooh, that's kind of almost empowering, really.
The one thing go ahead, Darren.
It's going to be a lot scarier for like independent comic book companies, because now they're going to have to distribute themselves, and are the comic book retailers, it kind of screws them that they do have whatever they buy, they have to get. So
yeah, I mean, there's an up and a downside to it, but
yeah,
I mean, the other thing is Darren was just saying, like, they go through Ingram. The quality as a collector, as a fan, what I like about this is that Diamond's quality has consistently gone downhill, I feel like, over the last 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
It used to not be normal for us to go into our local comic book shop and thumb through the 10 available copies to find the best one. It used to be that you grabbed the one that was on the front, you know what I mean? And you walked up to the register. And now, because of Diamond and because of how they ship things and how rushed everything is, you almost subliminally do. You almost know, there's 10 copies there. I better go through and look for that 9.6, because there's probably going to be a 9.2, and I don't want to be the guy that buys the 9.2. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't know the difference between a 9.2 and a 9.6.
Right. So I leave the 9.2 for you.
A 4 and a 9.
All right. Well, real quick though, we have actually, Dominic, it really is a good question. So he asked this: what is the Comic Code Authority? And
bunch of bullshit.
It was. Way back in the day, comics were told to start kind of regulating themselves, and they came up with the Comic Code Authority, and it was a stamp that was put on the comics, and you knew that it met certain kind of family friendly standards. So, for example, you couldn't have horror, weird, or terror in the titles.
Really?
Yeah.
That simple?
Oh, yeah. You couldn't have victorious villains throughout the book. Bad guy can't win. No vampires, no werewolves, and no zombies.
No drug use, no alcohol use by the heroes.
This one, no crooked or incorruptible cops. That one was kind of like, what?
Yeah.
And no vigilantism. So that's why you had Batman.
Is just out.
Yeah. Well, that's why you had Batman actually join the police. He had a badge and everything, and he was out in the daytime. no gross imagery, so you couldn't have. There was a Tales from the Crypt with the head, very kind of.
There you go. Dominic Kobe asks, so Comic Code Authority is like the ESRB for comics. Kind of.
But you couldn't do any of this.
Switch. Yeah, it was, you were either approved or not.
And if you were not approved, you couldn't get into Diamond. Get through Diamond or go.
You couldn't make it onto the shelves at all.
Newsstands.
Plus, we knew that there was a huge fine, and it turned out that huge fine was like a couple $100. That was
That's pretty big.
But a couple $100 then was a lot of money to a comic.
Yeah, but that
they
never
weren't making the money then.
It never changed throughout all of time. So when it was Stan Lee and doing the Spider-Man issue where Harry Osborn was on drugs, and at the same time DC had that really kind of famous Green Arrow, Green Lantern series where Speedy was revealed to be on drugs. They each got $500, and they were like, all right, like, I don't care. That's a drop in the hat now.
Yep. Finally, publishers just kind of gave the finger to the whole idea, and all of our comics got better.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are some fans that would disagree with me.
At that point, we really started to try to push the envelope almost too far, and we ended up with the 90s.
Cover Central?
Yeah. JD Smith Digiartist comes in with a question. Darren, who actually prints up the books for Marvel and DC? Do they have their own press in a Marvel warehouse? Does Diamond and Penguin then pick up the books from said warehouse and ship them to the retail stores?
I know that they've used a couple different ones. They used a place called Quebecor in Canada. It's just they're usually wherever they have a tendency to print wherever it's closest to like the warehouse, Diamond warehouses. And I think Diamond had like 2 or 3. I haven't been with Diamond for years, but yeah, I know that Canadian printing, it was a big thing for them. So for at least DC too.
And then JD Smith comes back to say, going off my last question, why does DC need a distributor like Diamond? I would assume that they could send direct to the retail shops. Why can't a retail shop just get it direct from Marvel?
Because it's such a pain in the butt to have to, like, I don't really have, I have a distributor and I don't have a distributor. When I sell, like, I'm doing these Dolly Parton comic books and I'm selling them directly to comic book stores, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. So having good distribution is important. And especially to comic book stores and that type of stuff.
But technically, it's possible without it, is what you're saying.
It's a logistical nightmare.
It's a logistical nightmare. It's not. Yeah, it's a lot of shipping. It's like a fulfillment house.
Yeah, but doesn't Marvel have the kind of resources to actually develop their own fulfillment? I mean, they could get that down. Even though I'm sure it would be a pain, they would have to have like a warehouse and people to run it.
They could, like, they've got Disney money. They could do whatever.
Yeah, that's why this isn't making any sense.
But it's probably still not cost effective,
right? And that's what it comes down to.
Time-consuming factor.
Yeah, I mean,
if you have a business that's just focused around doing that one thing, why not utilize that to your advantage to save the time and potentially the money?
Well, and think about it this way: you'd have to spend somewhere in the realm of, I'm sure, $40 to $50 million just to get that type of logistics out there and up and running, and call centers to take the orders and websites to handle everything. Yeah. Like warehouses across the country. I mean, you're not talking Amazon,
Take comic books out of the whole thing here and think about DVDs. Those have to be distributed too. And I know like Warner Brothers actually uses, different distribution centers, and they have there's like 5 or 6 different distributors for DVDs. And one, to get into a Target, you have to have a different distributor. And so people have different accounts. Yeah, the comic book stores literally only pretty much use Diamond. There's like 2 other ones, and there was like one about 5 years ago that closed down. I think Lunar is one that DC is using now. But yeah, it's the deals with Diamond. It's like a 60% deal. So yeah.
So if you had a place where the shops could actually like kind of set up, and the publishers or independent creators could actually like present their wares, and then the shops could buy direct and somehow have some kind of a on-demand publishing setup where they go straight to, and then you like get a bunch of indies together, and like so that like, I mean, because if you get 10 indies and they all do 100 units, then that's 1,000 units, and that would make somebody who might have a printer like money, right? Would something like that work?
And that's how Image Comics was formed. So five or six independent companies, and yeah, it's all about the printing. And printing 100 copies, you know, is expensive, but printing 10,000 copies is a lot cheaper. And a lot of these small independent comic book companies don't have the resources to pay for shipping in that way. And so, yeah, it's a big thing. So I'm curious to see where this ends up. So,
where do you think it's going to go from the perspective of a publisher? I mean, when you look at things,
I foresaw that.
Whoa.
Yes.
Going French on
years ago. So what I think is going to happen is I think single issues are going to go away. They're just going to be ebooks, and things are going to go either on print on demand, kind of like what you were saying, Jared. I've been doing that way for the last 4 years, but now I'm starting to look at DC, and I'm looking. You know, I still like to see what they have coming out each month, or each week, and they're cutting down to like limited titles, and now they're doing strictly books that are made just as ebooks. And I'm sure those will be turned into trade paperbacks and all that type of stuff. But it looks like Marvel's going to start doing the same thing. And, you know, the ebook sales, there's no printing cost. It's really easy to get there and to get it up onto like Kindle's, Comixology, you know, Crypto Comics.
Thank you.
But it is going to become an ebook world. But people still want it's going to take the collector market out of everything, which is going to upset a lot of people. But just like
that's where the NFTs come in, though.
Yeah.
Well, let's use this as an opportunity to talk about that next news article real quick. Because we can open up the discussion about NFTs with a very relevant news article that, surprise, Darren knows someone that knows someone.
What?
So the actual image, the original image for the overly attached girlfriend NFT sells for $411,000.
I've made a lot of damn memes in my day. Someone needs to pay me.
You need to put them up for sale then. Who would buy them?
No, he just puts them up on Facebook for everyone to enjoy.
Oh, I know. I laugh at them all the time. I'm always like, oh, that's so funny, Fry.
Hey, Darren.
Yeah?
Would you make me an offer on Jared?
He would have if you changed it to that one script you wrote that was awesome. Every time I see it, I'm just so disappointed. Everything rocks except the script.
Jeez.
Sorry, dude.
You need a better...
All right. So, what I didn't realize is that you could attach usage rights to these NFTs.
That is true. That is an option that the creator has.
Yeah. And with this particular one, I guess the usage rights were sold along with it. So
I think that's the only way I would ever buy an NFT, honestly. If I didn't have the rights to the picture I was buying, why would I buy it? It's what NFT makes it a digital asset, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So now that it's a digital asset, if I don't own the rights to it, what am I buying with that NFT?
An NFT is essentially your certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
that you own that
Okay,
NFT.
so it's like a certificate.
That you own that element. Yes. What is really, really interesting here is that in copyright law, specifically in the United States, every country is a little bit different. We're all based in the United States, so that's kind of where we're speaking of during this stream. And real quick, we do not offer legal advice. Please don't
Any
take
whatsoever.
anything we say
I mean,
as legal
Would you
or
take it
investment
from
advice.
this space? Hell no.
So, one thing that is very interesting is that the way that the usage rights of this image are done does not give the model any type of capabilities of arguing the usage of the image. Now, go ahead, Darren.
As somebody who has been sued,
Where it started.
whoever the photographer is, they own the rights. So you do have to get a model release, and so like I could not, like with the Dolly Parton thing, I could not just take a picture of Dolly Parton and throw it on a cover. You know, I have to get a specific, because the photographer owns the actual images. Then probably, you know, if it's a public figure, yeah, we could probably use it, but we still can't use that actual photo. And we have a lot of problems with that just from doing the biography comic books and that type of stuff. But if people are getting these photos from like iStock Photo or Corbis or something like that, they have signed, there's certain things you can and can't do with them. I have a friend of mine who is taking pictures and she pretends she's a doctor, and then she sells them to Corbis or whatever it is. And then they end up making, she ends up making money. But yeah, you can't just use somebody's photo just because you want to.
Just willy-nilly.
Well, that's where this gets
Okay,
weird.
hold up. This actually, the overly attached girlfriend meme came from Lena Morris. It was her video that she posted on YouTube,
and that's the name of the model. That's the model.
Yes, yeah, and it was a parody off of Justin Bieber's boyfriend.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And someone took a screenshot of the video. So legally, there is actually a loophole here where the photographer would be the person that took the screenshot rather than the original content, which was in video format. The reason being is because YouTube's original terms and conditions when this video was uploaded did not specify anyone pulling content from a video and whose ownership that would be. However, it did specify that once you uploaded it to YouTube,
that's right,
it was under creative rights of YouTube.
That's
so
right.
Technically, there's a loophole here where Alphabet or Google/YouTube could theoretically come back and say, no, you used our platform for this video. We own the rights to the video. However, it could also be argued that whoever took the screenshot at the time would have been the photographer because of how loosely those terms and conditions were written at that time. Now, I mean, you could never, YouTube owns that thing now, man. The creator on YouTube would own that now. So, yeah, I think it's going to get kind of crazy.
At the end of the day, what do you do with it? Please, somebody tell me what you do with it. What do you? Yeah. What?
Well, in this case, you would own the rights to use this. So, for example, Darren, if you bought this NFT, you could then use this image for whatever you want.
Totally. I get that. But so it just sits on my computer. Is it bragging rights? Do I make it?
Nope.
It's like it's a digital collectible. It's
100%
buying the first edition Amazing Spider-Man and having that sitting on your bookshelf, but a digital version of that where it's tracking the history of where that object has been, who's had it, who created it, like a history of that object to give it value to the next owner. so that you can take that NFT or what collectible that you purchased, sit on it potentially, and have it build value, or utilize it in that fashion, like a digital collectible.
I'm just 50. And I'm like, this is
no, that's a great question. I mean, it's unfortunately it's one of those answers where to anyone the answer could be different. It's very, very similar to like the sports cards in the 80s and early 90s. One person would look at it and say, who is going to spend $200 on a piece of cardboard that has Michael Jordan's face on it?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like there's hundreds of thousands of these. Why is that worth more than any other piece of cardboard? It's still just cardboard. You can't play with Michael Jordan. You can't use it to play basketball. So it really goes off of just the collectability, and it's a flex. You know what I mean? Right now, it's very much kind of the Wild West of NFTs. And so a lot of people just want to have the most interesting things in their collection.
Well, that's where I'm just like, I just don't, I need tangible. That's me. I just don't understand it. So I'm not the demographic for buying that.
Oh, you'll be surprised.
I am like a collector, but I like to have things. Like whether it's comics or movies, like we have every streaming service, but I'll still buy the DVD or the Blu-ray or the 4K because I like to have them.
But do you own any NFTs?
No.
Okay.
I don't understand it either, and I'm not 50.
So one of the main benefits that I see as a collector is Darren, I can buy your book in print and I can slide it right up onto my shelf and know that it remains perfect. And then I can buy that same book as an NFT, go through and read it, enjoy it, and then turn around and resell it. Whereas if I were to go onto the Kindle market on Amazon and just buy the digital version, I've paid for it once, you've gotten paid for it once, and it's at the end of its life. That's where I see the value of an NFT.
Then what happens when somebody, decides to, make a copy of it, and then, or that file gets a torrent file, and now it's like, so it's literally just another version of ebooks, like, because like a lot of our titles are on sites, and I'm not gonna, I don't even know how to fight that. So
yeah, so and that was also, let me switch over here. Where is it? J Smith Digiartist had asked, what stops Overly Attached Girlfriend from coming out 4 years from now with the actual original JPEG file? So that's where this gets really kind of weird, because we're already seeing this happen. We're already seeing a creator of an NFT offer a one-of-one NFT, which theoretically should hold more value, and then coming out with the same thing again. You know what I mean? And that's what's a little bit different with what Crypto Comics is doing, is we're allowing someone like Darren here to take a comic book, put it on the blockchain, turn it into an NFT, and have the option of doing a one-of-one or 1,000, and it would then generate 1,000 NFTs. The main thing here is that the difference between downloading your book on Crypto Comics or going to, a piracy site and doing it is that on Crypto Comics, that collector knows that they're supporting the creator. They know that they can resell it and that the creator gets the funds from that resell again. They know that they're giving back into this community. They know that they're doing, the things that will keep our hobby and our community and our interests alive. And what I love about NFT with our community, and not just the Crypto Comics community, but the comic community as a whole, is that in our community, when we love something, man, we go out of our way to support it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's why, people don't understand why, crowdfunding campaigns like Kickstarters, stuff like that. A lot of people are confused as to why those have gotten so big over this last year. And when you've been a member of this community for long enough, you realize like conventions got shut down. We as collectors had to find a way to support the creators that we enjoy, or those creators might have disappeared, and we weren't about to let that happen. You know, and there's like publishers like Darren here where, you know, the community is what keeps Darren alive. It's what keeps TIDALWAVE moving and operating and going forward and coming out with more great books and more great content. It's what gives him the capability to go onto a live stream and ask people who you would want to see a comic book from. Jared, quit moving stuff around.
Oh, sorry.
That
Bad voice came out.
And
yeah,
so
Jared's
that
back.
being said, is that NFTs give us that almost that digital COA. You know what I mean? That going on to Kindle doesn't give us. You know, and that little bit of that, you know, that little non-fungible token gives us internally that understanding and that knowledge that we firsthand supported the creator. We firsthand made sure that that book was a little bit more successful. And hopefully that leads to the second book. Hopefully that leads to that creator going out and making more. Hopefully that leads to that artist getting more work. Now, do I see NFT as an overall benefit outside of that? I think there's a strong argument that NFT also allows, you know, people to exploit a market, which is, I think, similar to what J.D. Smith Digiartist is saying here, saying what happens when they come out with another one. For people that aren't familiar with it, Logan Paul, for example, came out with an NFT, sold the crap out of it by saying it was going to be limited to only being available for an hour, doing all this, and then turned around a day later and did the same thing again. And here's what sucks about that is that those are people that aren't just exploiting, you know, a loophole in what NFT is. You know, that person could still go to Walmart, come out with dinner plates and say, we're only going to make 100 of these dinner plates. People buy 100 boxes of those from Walmart, and then a week later they put out another 100 of the exact same plates with the exact same marketing. You know, for lack of better vocabulary here, guys, like that person's just being an asshole. And no matter what, in any industry that we're in, we're going to have assholes. We're going to have people that want to pirate the books and don't want to support creators. We're going to have people that pirate the movies, that pirate software, that pirate, you know, in PDF format or whatever. Like that is going to happen no matter what we do. So the way we look at it is we offer something of inherent value for that collector, and we do our very damn best to make sure that you know the books that come from our system, you know, aren't going to be ripped off and given away everywhere. I mean, a majority of it though just goes right back down to, you know, we know that an NFT is a flex. We understand that. We understand the mentality behind it, but we also understand that every one of us fills a shelf like that, or long boxes in our garage, Darren, or, you know, Jared, your first comics that you have on your wall, or Brodo, the comics that you just picked up, or Ashley, the physical books that you slide into a shelf. Like, that is just a flex to each one of us. Like, nobody gives a rat's ass what comics I've got hanging on my wall in the background, but I care. You know what I mean? And
it is kind of a flex, though, because when people walk into your house, you're like, yeah, check out my stuff.
Right. And when people go to your Crypto Comics profile, you can do the same thing.
So then have them go, oh, God, I have to dust.
See?
But I would love to just look at those and see what's in there and read a few. That'd be amazing.
Right? The thing that excites me the most isn't even what's happening right now. And this is where people are excited. They're dropping 400K on a meme. What I'm excited about is that 10 years from now, I'll be able to go back and buy a copy of 10th Muse because I know that Darren will still make that money off of there. Whereas if I go into my local shop and I find a copy of 10th Muse, Darren doesn't get a penny of that. Now, I know that Darren's still going to be stoked that I found a copy of 10th Muse and picked it up, but financially, he's not able to feed his dog with it. And I love the idea that an NFT allows that creator to continuously embark on that journey and that growth as a creator, because financially that little bit of, you know, love coming from a collector can always trickle back to them. The one downside that I see is I'm a huge fan of. Is he trying to hug me? I hug you too. Come on. The one downside that I see is especially during COVID, we've seen, you know, a huge downside with what happens when people can't get into the local comic book shops. And a lot of people ask us, like, what the hell is an NFT going to do to comic book shops? You know, how is this going to work? And we have some cool ideas, I think, that go along with that. Like Darren here specifically works in print. You know what I mean? Like digital is just kind of a side gig to Darren. And we utilize all the information that we get from. We pick his brain nonstop just for more information. And I think that what we're going to allow to happen is for comic book shops to be able to work hand in hand with a digital format as well as a print format, because we don't want to see print go away. We're not in competition.
Not at all.
And we don't want to see local shops go away. I mean, that's why we call this show The Couch, is because every comic shop had that little area where you'd go in and you'd just bullshit about comics.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Get on the couch.
And that's why we call it this. I mean, that's what it's all about.
Look at, like, even like video stores, you know, there's only one more Blockbuster left. I mean, the video store market, I never thought the video stores would ever go away.
Yeah.
Ever. And
Neither did I.
They're gone. So it's just, I think comic book stores, it's going to be a sad day, but comic book stores are going to go by the wayside too.
See,
I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, a lot of comic book stores, they don't just sell comic books. Like they offer, you know, all the collectibles, and you know, there's art hanging on the walls,
Lots of
and
pop culture.
yeah, like my local comic book store has a gaming tournament every Thursday and Friday night, where holy crap, like they will sell so much stuff just, you know, to the gamers playing like Magic and stuff like that. Now, I was sitting there thinking, like, well, yeah, Hastings closed too, and that was one of my favorite video stores. You know, I liked it better than Blockbuster because they had all of that stuff. And then I started to think about it. They didn't go they didn't close because they were losing money. It was their parent company that was losing money, and so they ended up having to file Chapter 11 and closed everything down. So a lot of the comic book collectors actually, or not the comic book collectors, but the comic book stores started offering more of that that merchandise that Hastings offered. So it's everything other than the videos.
But that brings me to that there used to be just a comic book store. Now the comic book store is a pop store and a figure store, and it's this. And so people are not buying comic books the way that they used to buy them. In the 90s, they were selling 9 million copies. Now they're selling maybe 100,000, 300,000 on and so there's not a big sense of readership. So how do you get new readers in to the comic book stores so they can survive and live? And so that's what I think the world is turning to see, is that there's not as many comic book lovers as there used to be. You can watch all the Avengers movies, and kids don't want to read. Kids want to watch the movies. And so that's what I get frustrated with.
Like, what the heck?
You look at conventions, and all the comic book conventions are basically, you know, Power Rangers, and great, I think it's fun. But when you have the cast of Pretty Little Liars at a comic book convention, you're like, how? And so comic books get overlooked at these things at conventions.
Well, I think a lot of that, though, also started with the inclusion of pop culture, because they assumed, well, the more people that will come to look at these stars, maybe they'll pick up the comic books. And then quickly, San Diego Comic-Con turned into Hall H Comic-Con. And
everything else is movies.
Yeah. And now they're just realizing that, I mean, that demographic is so much stronger as far as the financials, You know what I mean? That it will never go back. But
I have a question.
yeah,
Is there currently anything online that allows comic book stores to participate in sales generated online? Is there anything out there that actually has or incorporates that idea into their business model?
only if a comic book shop is also acting as a publisher for like maybe their locals that come in and want to put a book together, and then the comic book shop sets up like a publishing account via Amazon. That's something that I have seen, but that's about it.
Because I don't mean to toot our own horn here, but the idea that a comic book shop could come into this marketplace and buy and sell comics is the first time that has ever like really truly existed within an actual like directive of a marketplace.
Right.
So when these comic so one thing that comic book stores face is their foot traffic. They're restricted by foot traffic. You only have the number of people that can get to your storefront. That's why it's really important to get a good storefront. You want lots of traffic. You want lots of people coming in front of you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a lot of exclusives happening because, like, anytime I look at Facebook, my Facebook feed, I see like Batman 427, and it's a special edition of this thing, and it's just a different color of somebody else's, or like Unknown Comics version of Batman, and there's like it's so many versions of these issues that DC Comics doesn't need to print comics anymore. Marvel doesn't need to print comics book anymore because these small little mom and shop comic book stores, in a sense, are printing their own versions of like Wolverine 50.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, and I see a lot of that in my feed. So
that's interesting.
Like Unknown Comics has, if you look at them, we did a Bernie Sanders exclusive with them, and it was like a fun one. And they had 7 different covers of the same cover, one without logos, one with logos, one with a photo, one with this. And it's weird. I just think, but they also do that for like Batman books and Superman and like a lot of the big books. So maybe that's the answer to comic book stores going on.
I like that.
Yeah.
Coming in on chat, JD Smith Digiartist says, riding off of Andrew Dodge and Kryptic T3's convo, will Crypto Comics do a tutorial for setting up Crypto Comics in the near future? I refer to creator to CC today, in fact, but they were confused as to how to get set up. I see something sweet. We'll just do it right now. You literally go to cryptocomics.com/u/ anyone's username. I just chose TIDALWAVE because Darren's sitting right here.
Because Darren's awesome.
Darren's
wants you to join under him.
You're going to see a big blue button right here, right at the top of their profile page to sign up and follow TIDALWAVE. And you literally just have to click that button, fill out your information, and click on sign up. That's honestly all you have to do.
Just so you know, we are working on creating tutorials and things that will help, but my team is already stretched so to its limits, and they do a phenomenal job.
So Jared's going to make them.
Are you gonna,
Yeah.
Are you gonna do it on Procreate?
Say what? What?
You know what? Darren, we should try to get you into a how-to video where you teach Jared how to make a comic book.
Oh, I was like, okay, well, I can do that. I thought if it was me having to learn how to do crypto comic books, I'd be like,
Yeah.
I don't even. Sorry.
You show me how to make a comic book, I'll show you how to get a comic book into Crypto Comics Marketplace, and then I'll call Fry real fast for customer support and say, I can't figure it out. Curry, help him.
I love always getting those emails. Your comic is not live.
Oh, come on, guys. You click a little button that says publish my book. You drag your PDF onto the screen. It uploads.
See,
you
it's
name
the
the
dragging
title.
part. It's the dragging part.
It's
It
the
always
dragging
throws
part, yeah,
me
the
off.
hard
I'm like, drag what? I dragged the Harrow today.
You guys know I can do tutorial videos, so if you guys want me to do something, let me know. I haven't really
Brodo
got-
volunteered.
so-
Yay!
Woo!
Yeah!
All right, done. We accept. We always accept team members into the team to help do stuff.
Well, I've done
We
one
can.
already. You guys have seen the other one I did, so
Mhm.
I mean, it wouldn't be
It was
very hard
awesome.
to replicate that process. Just get I just need to know what it
Well,
is that I have to do.
So one thing that has been holding us up is we do have some significant updates coming up, and we cannot. It's really hard to show how to do something when you know that what they're seeing is about to change.
There are some user experience improvements
Refinements.
coming.
How do you improve on perfection?
We'll show you.
You make it perfect.
You have David start typing it up, and
Yep, yeah, we've got some user experience things that we're about to update, just so that everybody's aware, and that's why we've kind of held off on those videos. Is we don't want the videos to kind of get dated overnight. We want to make sure that
I just got a call, and yeah, I'm starting my fight with Fox News tomorrow, so I have to go over this thing. So,
what do you mean
We're
you're
in your
fighting
corner.
your start with Fox? What are you doing?
amen to that. In your corner.
letter to Fox News, and we are to every person at Fox News, and we are also going to post it on Twitter and Facebook and all this stuff. It's going to be an open letter
Really?
about how they say they're fair and unbiased, but they literally are not. And what they did with our comic books last week, you know, do they know if we're doing a Melania Trump comic book? They are assuming that we're not, but
Right.
we will come on their show and we will explain how we pick people and how we don't pick people, and who's influential and who's not. And so I just had to take this call we got to fix this thing. So.
Now I feel like the guy on 300, man.
Oh no!
That is a whole lot of white right there.
Yeah.
So, Darren, I got to tell you, after that last show that we did together, I went upstairs and, I was telling my wife about the kind of trouble that you were having with Fox News. And her first question was, why would he do a comic on her? Like,
Exactly. I don't plan on doing a Melania Trump comic book because I don't think there's anything that I have nothing.
There's not enough content.
There's not enough. That's exactly it. It's a female empowerment series. It's not a first lady series. And there's nothing about her story that, Donald Trump's story. He's at least, there's a story there.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing people have ever said since we got into this fight about this is that she's really pretty and she can speak 6 languages. That does not make a comic book unless it's a Top Cow book, because then it's just.
Wait a minute, though. I'm really pretty, and I could probably make up 5 additional languages.
I could, yeah. You can have the rights. Be part of the female forced series.
Are we just gonna act like Jared didn't just strip midstream?
Well, that was nice.
I was kind of hoping we could
That was
skip that.
300, dude. That was 300. I was going to war with Darren.
Just
I was like, I gotta go back, dude. We're gonna.
I know
And you said, 300. They're like, whoa. Do you want me to shoot that again? Do you want me to get all swole like Batman?
I will see you guys next week. We will talk later.
Thank you for joining us, Jared.
Thank you guys for everything.
Thank
See
you.
Darren.
Out.
Yeah.
Dude, that's so awesome, man. I'm so proud of him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Jenny
You know
Smith,
what?
the artist,
Fantastic.
says that all seems simple enough than any sort of crypto account set up. Nope. We look at every account as a creator's account because we think that everyone should have the tools to publish their own books. So, yeah, sign your friends up by having them go to your profile page and sign up. Most definitely. And someone that's like active on our streams like you, we'd probably hook you up with a couple extra invites. But it is exclusive, so just
Talk to us after the stream.
maybe not say that too much. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Oh, jeez.
So, next up, we have just a little bit more news stories. Let's see. if I could find
You
it.
still have news stories? Holy crap!
Oh yeah.
Cryptic, while you're looking for that, Kryptic says, when do I get my Cryptic Empire team t-shirt? I don't know if I can make that one work, Cryptic T3. I mean, yeah, we could probably do that.
I mean, there's no reason not to, right?
We could probably do something.
I mean, how many team members would have to get one?
Well, I guess that all depends.
Yeah,
Being an underboss and all, I hope I'm one of them.
I'm sure we could figure something out.
All right. So I have an article that kind of combines the whole gaming world along with comics. So, Brodo, Ashley, I need your guys' opinion on this. Have you played the Avengers game?
Unfortunately.
I've been cracking out on it. I just started, but I've been cracking out on it. I love it.
Cracking out.
Yeah, they just
you're a little nerd over here now.
they just
It reminds me too much of Anthem, and I can't get down with that game either, so I just deleted it off the PlayStation.
Okay. They just announced the new armor coming out for Iron Man. What do you think of it?
I'm a grind for it.
Can we get a close-up on that? Oh, that was close.
Weird.
So here's what I
wanted to buy
like.
that game a few times, but I've heard horror stories about its actual performance, and it's really, really super short. In the end game, there's just not
It is
enough
short.
content.
The end game is just non-existent, but the storyline is actually pretty good. I would recommend buying it if it's like on sale, something like that.
If it's free.
It's a very Destiny-ish experience up until the end game, and then it's a very there's nothing. But the storyline is actually pretty good. Miss Marvel is one of my favorite Marvel characters now because of the game.
Oh, nice.
I think it's a pretty cool story they cast with that. Going back to that armor though, I am excited for this, and we can't say too much about this, but we know an artist that actively worked on this. So
we do? Yeah.
And so that's kind of cool.
That is way cool. Do I know that artist?
Yes.
Cool. That's pretty awesome.
So I just think it's cool because of that.
Matt, you didn't know either.
I had no idea. So this is all news to me. Fry had to shoot it to me in chat.
Here's what I really, really love about
it was Jim Lee, guys. It was Jim Lee. He crossed the lines, and
it was not Jim Lee. But if you are very, very eagle-eyed, you can actually go through the Crypto Comics system, and the origination of that suit is actually in an image in a book.
Can we get another shot of that suit real quick?
It's not the same image as what they're showing there. That's like actual gameplay footage. But yeah. So some people know of creators that are inside of Crypto Comics that have had history working in video games and with Marvel and other large.
That's really neat.
We actually have a few people that have a history in video games.
Yeah, but I don't want to narrow it down any more than that, or it makes it too easy.
Actually,
I think I've said enough.
I mean, the video game industry and the comic book industry are starting to really.
All right, I'm gonna have to tell everybody it was actually Jared.
Yeah,
Jared designed the whole thing, and
I did. Well,
yeah, he's now got that Marvel money. Sorry, it's the Disney money. So
I just wanted you all to know it is incredible. Thank you so much. This Marvel Emmy that I got. Thank you.
That's called plagiarism, and we do not stand by plagiarism.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
I was. See, Matt, why you get me in trouble, man? Jesus.
Jay Smith DJ says, "Hell, you have someone who works in video games right here in the chat." Oh, that's cool to know.
What?
Oh yeah.
Shit.
What
That's
games
why
you
his
work
name
on?
be Digi.
Or I should say, what studios do you work with? That's probably all they can say. If you can share that information. If not,
Oh,
don't-
you can't
don't
even
cross that
share
line.
who you work with?
Depends on the contracts.
Wow. No kidding.
Mhm.
Is that just to protect their talent or?
I think from a corporate standpoint, I think that's what it is.
Oh. Okay.
I don't know that though. Like I know when I graduated, about a week before my graduation ceremony, I got contacted by someone from Pixar because at the time Pixar had their own in studio for games.
Mhm.
And I got contacted by someone from there to do like a paid internship directly after graduation. And
wow.
that would have been a part of that contract if I would have taken it, was that I couldn't tell anybody that I worked for Pixar, which I
What
thought
good
was
would an
really
internship
weird.
be with Pixar? If
You
can't
you
even-
can tell people when you're done, but
Oh.
during
Oh,
which
that's cool.
you could not legally say.
Boy, they sure missed the boat when they didn't get you.
Well, I would have had to have just said that I worked for a Disney animation studio, which is why you see so many creators will list like on LinkedIn or Facebook, stuff like that. They will link Disney Creative Studios because they can't say what studio they actually work for. And Disney Creative is anything from Industrial Light and Magic to Pixar to, I mean, God, I think they've got like close to 100 of them now. Technically.
Really?
Well,
All right.
hell yeah,
So-
think about it. Marvel itself has, I think, probably 40 studios.
Mhm.
Holy shit.
I gotta ask, Ashley, what is your opinion on the suit itself? I know you said you don't like the game, but what about the suit itself?
The suit,
Mm-hmm.
it's not the worst Iron Man suit I've ever seen.
Ooh, what would be the worst?
I've seen a lot of Iron Man suits. There's a lot that are just bad.
Really?
I can get down with this one though. The helmet throws me off a little, but
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of the helmet personally.
yeah, it kind of just looks like Star-Lord a little bit to me.
Oh, nice one.
Oh,
But in the grand scheme of Iron Man suits, it's good. It's definitely not one of the worst ones.
it's not as bad as the steampunk one.
Oh my god,
Oh,
yeah.
I didn't see
That
the
was-
steampunk one. That
It's
sounds awesome.
awful. Jay
Really?
Smith Didyartis says he's got an NDA on current projects, but he recently worked on Magic the Gathering, Mortal Kombat 11, Wasteland 3, Lego, etc.
I love Mortal Kombat 11. Oh my.
Digi. Digi.
Okay. This is just the live action suits.
Oh, cool.
Which is the
The
I
very
love
least
all of them. All of those are amazing.
The vanilla Coke, I can't.
this one over here?
Yep,
I love
I
that
know
one.
somebody who
I
has
hated that
collected-
one.
I hate it too.
I love it.
I know somebody who collects Hot Toys. It's like those action figures that are
Mhm.
really expensive. He has so many. He had to take out an extra insurance policy for his house because
Cool.
he has so many of the Hot Toys that it overtook
Oh,
everything else.
jeez.
Wow. So for me, the suitcase suit is the worst. I hated that one.
Yeah, I like that one.
I didn't
I
like
freaking love that one.
But
Wait,
this suit right here at the very end of the Avengers, the first Avengers movie, my all-time favorite.
I don't like when they went to the triangle.
Either did I.
I can't.
Y'all.
Yeah.
No.
Uh-huh.
Wait a minute.
Dude,
All right.
the Iron Man suit was the best one. Why, you might ask? Because it was the most realistic interpretation of a comic book character that I've ever seen, even since.
Really?
Like that original, that hardcore, just
the one he used to escape.
Dude, if you look at those old Iron Man covers, like especially the origination, it is spot on. If you take that and you were to try to make it yourself, like it's just that's what sold me on Favreau just taking reins of Marvel.
See, and that's
as soon as I saw
like
that,
yeah. But by the time they got to like Avengers Endgame and stuff like that, it didn't work for me anymore because it was just a CGI suit.
Yeah, and that kind of ruins a lot of things. I get that. I don't know. So you're wanting to talk about the worst one then, not the favorites?
Oh,
no.
Both.
I want to cover the
Hulkbuster.
Yeah,
the Hulkbuster was good, but I gotta say, Mark 1 is still the coolest. Because when he first came out, I was like, "Oh, that actually looks like somebody just put it together in a cave."
Yeah.
His nano suit's amazing too. I love that one.
See, I hated that one.
Yeah.
Which one?
The nano suit from like Infinity War and Endgame.
Oh, I thought that one was cool too.
J. Smith Digger says, "Yeah, I might have to go with them, Scott, regarding the Avengers suit."
What?
Okay, all right.
So, speaking of the Avengers, our next news story is none other than Deadpool himself does not want to work with one particular person, one particular Avenger.
Does anybody want to work with their ex-girlfriend, though?
Whoa.
Ex-wife, actually.
True facts. I misspoke. Does anybody
You know how
want to
much
work with
money
an ex?
that is? I don't give a rat's behind.
Wait, Scarlett Johansson. Who's Scarlett Johansson? I gotta look that up.
Are you kidding me, Jared? The Black Widow.
He doesn't want to work with her? I thought she was like cool or
That's
something.
his ex-wife.
Oh, that's to be him. Woo, that would suck. Oh, dang, that's
Jared
who he was
learned
married
something
to.
new.
Woo, that sucks. Oh, poor.
It's not like
I
his
don't
wife now is
honestly
terrible
blame
looking.
I don't
Yeah,
honestly
he definitely
blame him just
downgraded. No, I didn't mean that.
Oh, JD Smith Digger says Fresh Pasture makes me want to reevaluate the original suit.
Oh,
I just love the fact that Favreau was like had that attention to detail.
Oh yeah,
like you could
Favreau's
tell
awesome.
that he was a fan. You know what I mean? Before the money, before everything else, that he wanted to do it justice.
he's doing something with Star Wars
That's
right
what
now.
I loved.
The Mandalorian.
Yeah, it's called The Mandalorian.
No. There was something
Hey, Jared,
after
can
that.
you get out from underneath your rock like once a week so that we can all be on the same page?
You know,
It was
it's like
something else.
Lil Brodo. He was like, what was he talking to? He's like, did you guys know there's a Mortal Kombat movie coming out? And we were like,
Yeah, 3 months ago when the trailer came out.
And
Hey,
then his
Brodo.
mind is blown because he was talking about the 90s release. He's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
There's another one?
Hey, Brodo,
CGI?
did you know there was a great movie called The Goonies at one point in time?
Oh. Have you seen that yet? Oh, dude, he just totally stared you down.
Oh yeah, he did.
I've literally spent like $2,000 on freaking comic books. I don't have time for Goonies right now. Okay.
Welcome to the first month for anybody.
This is what I'm working on right now.
Ooh,
It's such a good one. You
have
know
you
what?
seen the box set, Matt?
What was that?
Have you seen the box set of the Flashpoint?
The
Oh yeah.
box set?
Yeah, I had not. I found it on Amazon for money. And I was like,
I had
don't
every
care.
single issue, and then I seen the box set, and I was like, "Oh, dang!" But I gotta tell you, Brodo, if you want a really good DC series, you gotta read the
Stop looking.
Tower of Babel.
Oh, wow.
Okay,
That's
Tower of Babel is pretty good. Okay.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
That is awesome. I'm going to have to freaking...
I feel like Brodo needs Cosmic Ghost Rider in his life, everybody.
You know, I could
We're
see
working
him
up to
like
there.
that.
We're still kind of. Well, I thought he's just kind of off on his own now. I'll leave him alone for a little bit. And he's got like 6 different comics in his cart, and he's like finds these ones now, and I'm like, You're already okay.
I read the Dark Seed War, and that one was like, I was just absolutely epic. I loved that one, and then I accidentally bought the volume or the book that had all of the spin-off stories in it, and I thought I only had gotten one of them.
Mhm.
And I start reading through the first one, I see the second cover in there. I was like, oh my god, I've got all of them.
That's the best feeling
Let
too.
me tell you, there's nothing as wholesome as watching somebody read comics and watch the animated movies for the first time. The look on his face is like pure joy and excitement of reading these. It's just wholesome.
Yeah.
That's why I always take my kids to go see all the comic book movies.
That's why I made kids.
Wow, he went there, guys.
I needed someone to hang out with.
He's a Procreator user.
Oh Lord.
Oh, we went there.
Oh, gee. And full circle. Okay.
Every time we say Procreate, everybody put Procreate in the comments.
Please don't.
Please
do.
don't.
Good for our interaction rates. Go for it.
It is cool that there's still parents, like you guys and like several of my friends, because like Darren was saying earlier, comic shops are like dwindling and kids are like not reading the comics. They'll watch the movies and they'll buy the shirts and they're like super fans, but they don't read anything. Like,
Well, I'm gonna make a little bit of an argument to that though. Is that without the merchandising and without the Hastings of the world, you know, being out there and the popularity of that, I don't think that comics would have the reach that they have now. You know what I mean? If it wasn't ever, you know, cool to not be cool, like it turned into a decade ago or whatever, or 20 years ago, I guess now. I don't think we would have things like the MCU. I don't think we'd have things like Snyder Cut. I don't think we'd have half the books that we have going on right now. We definitely wouldn't have Donny Cates or, you know what I mean, stuff like that. I mean, if you go back and you look at like the early 90s comics when realistically everything was dead. I mean, Marvel was selling off properties for next to nothing.
Oh, yeah. They offered to sell their entire IP to DC at one point in time for $1 million.
Yep.
1 million or 1 million?
Million with an M.
Million.
Gosh.
And that's kind of, I mean, as far as I know, I don't know for sure, but Iron Man, that first Iron Man movie really kind of just turned everything around as far as like its actual public presence.
Blade did it.
Mm-hmm.
Blade was
the movie Blade with Wesley Snipes.
Like
Blade was really, I didn't even know that was a comic book at first.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly, I didn't know that until a couple of years ago, and I still loved Blade. Like, I just didn't realize it was part of the MCU, which makes it even freaking cool. And honestly, same thing happened with Constantine. I didn't know freaking Constantine.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't know Constantine was a comic book either.
Yeah,
which makes that even more epic because that's freaking Keanu Reeves. I'm like, what?
Right.
What happened with Blade was that they made the movie, they came out with it. It made money, and the contract that was actually set up at the time was that Marvel would get a very small percentage. It wasn't a flat rate purchase of that IP. And all of a sudden Marvel went, wait a minute, we can pay our creators with this. And you guys have to realize too that because places like Marvel they didn't have any money, they also had a very difficult time keeping creators.
Really?
Yeah, because if you can't pay a creator what they're actually worth, I mean,
stick around. Yeah,
this was a time when like even the biggest names creating comics were doing it as a very, very part-time job.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? They weren't able
they
to feed their family.
20 books.
Well,
Yeah.
So then the golden age of comics was like 80s then?
Well, no, that's when it started getting dark. Like a lot of people, even with like the old Batman movies and stuff like that, it didn't catch on with the comics. You know what I mean? Like that's a big reason why Warner Brothers heavily invested in DC like they did, is because they thought books were dead. They thought comics themselves were dead, and that the only value that was left was in the IPs of those characters.
Right.
And and unfortunately, Marvel and DC and those companies, they felt the same way. They thought they were done. It was over.
Mhm.
It was the golden age was when they were making money. It was, we're talking like this was the dark ages for them. And then Blade made a little bit of money, and Marvel had already sold off the rights to things like Spider-Man and Fantastic Four and
Hulk.
Hulk. Those were all their big characters. And the
That's
thing
why
is,
the first Hulk was so kind of different.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it kept changing as
With
they kept
Eric
coming out.
Bana. And then they had like
Edward Norton was on the first one.
No.
Yeah.
Bana. Then Edward Norton.
Oh.
Then Mark Ruffalo. But they had sold X-Men off to Fox, and as well as the Fantastic Four and stuff like that. And then after Blade, then X-Men really, really kind of was still very much associated with comic books. Like what you were saying with Blade, I didn't realize was a comic book until, it wasn't until X-Men came out that it was like, wait a minute, they can actually make a very, very comic accurate.
Well, you're using that term a little loosely.
I am. But
yeah.
Spider-Man was the one that was actually like the costume was comic accurate.
Yeah. Iron
but
Man
as
was the
far
first
as-
time that Marvel was able to control it because they hadn't sold the rights yet.
They put
still
everything
had
up
the rights.
for. They put all their remaining comic books IPs up for essentially in trade. Like if this movie fails, the banks own everything.
Yep.
And they were willing to risk it all.
And
it paid
Favreau,
off.
the hero.
Oh yeah.
Man, I love that guy.
Look at me now.
I still remember when he was first announced as the Iron Man director. I was like, wait a second, Foggy Nelson from that crappy Daredevil one? No.
Really? See, as soon as he got announced, I was stoked because of
I love Swingers and stuff
Swingers,
like that.
yeah.
But I was like,
Because of
yeah, I've
Swingers.
already seen what he can do in a comic book movie, but of course he didn't direct it.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was going to be like Vince Vaughn was going to play Iron Man. I thought that for sure. You know what I mean? I would have put money on it. And then they announced Robert Downey Jr. and I was like, what? You know what I mean?
I was excited when I heard Robert Downey Jr. was first announced.
I immediately, I know this is kind of a rude thing to say. Sorry, Robert, if you're watching. But like, I thought that they were just going to go straight for the devil in the bottle storyline when they announced him.
Because of all the...
Because of like his history with drug abuse and stuff like that. I was like, oh crap, they typecasted him. Like, they're just going to go to the darkest point in Iron Man.
I thought Robert Downey Jr. did a great job as.
Hell yeah!
That guy's got
a
such
national
good
icon.
range.
Yeah, he is Iron Man. I don't care. I don't care what movie he's come out with since then, except for The Juror was really good. But he will always be Iron Man, and that's it to me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he owned that character.
Oh yeah.
And he played both parts well. He played like the Playboy side really well, and then he played Iron Man really well, and then he like grew into the character and you like watched it. Unlike Spider-Man, they can't seem to get a good Spider-Man and Peter Parker.
See, I think Tom Holland
does a pretty good job. He's like, but like the other ones, like Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, it was like
awesome Peter Parker. Not so good Spider-Man.
Yeah, he didn't seem very young.
And Andrew Garfield was great
Good Spider-Man, but
he was.
You're a model. You're not Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
See, what I didn't understand was in the Andrew Garfield ones, he kept repeating every line like 3 to 4 times. It's like, dude, just spit it out. We know what you're saying.
It's a model thing. It's a runway thing.
You know all about that, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's a beard model. You forget.
He's a beard model. he was going to unveil his new Gillette sponsorship on the stream, but
I
guess I just dropped the ball.
See this? Right
Are you flipping me off?
No.
I
was itching my beard. I was itching my beard.
All right. With that, we're over 2 hours. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you again, Darren, for joining. If you're still watching at home, man. Everybody in chat, we really appreciate you as always. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, make sure you hit the little bell notification to know when we go live. You can find Brodo and Ashley at twitch.tv/Kryptic Brodo and twitch.tv Ashley Massacre. Just type them into the search. They pop right up. I'm pretty sure
they are fun to watch game because they're pros.
Absolutely.
And they know how to jam with you and make you feel welcome. So please check these guys out. When they stream, it's fun.
And every once in a while, you'll see us jumping into their streams and doing some giveaways. So
sometimes they let me play with them. Not very often because they hate.
Dude, I got banned off Call of Duty, and it's been like 2 weeks since I've played. I don't even know if I'm gonna get back on.
Dude, if you get back on,
you gotta figure something out. You got a tournament.
I do think I might just be a broadcaster. I'm a pretty damn good one. I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's true.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Me and you, dude, we could run in, get the info from the front lines, and then you'd protect me as we run back out again.
That would be playing, Jared. He's talking.
Yeah,
about
no, we would just raid people.
What?
I'll do the logistics, okay? You're the personality.
You're the face.
Just
Jared,
show up
you're
and
the
be
face.
pretty, Jared. Just show up and be pretty.
Thank you.
Yeah, just make sure your beard's not crying next time. That's weird.
Don't worry, man. It won't be. It won't be.
Kryptic comes in to say, "I'll protect you, Jared."
Thank you, T3.
Andrew Dodger comes to say, "Thanks, everyone." Thank you, Andrew. We appreciate
Thank
you
you,
guys
Gretchen.
watching these. Man, these are so much fun to do. So much fun to hang out. Make sure if you watch these and you're able to catch them live, get involved in chat. It helps our numbers, obviously, which I like. But more importantly is that's what we do this for, is this community.
Well,
You know what I mean?
yeah, and the interaction makes it so fun, and it brings in such really awesome conversation and stuff. Like,
We
thanks
end
so
up
much.
going well over 2 hours. So
Like,
Yeah,
share, subscribe,
seriously.
do all that kind of stuff.
I'm sorry, guys.
What? Why is he screaming? Why is Matt always so mad at me?
It's because he likes you.
Shut your mouth. I'll beat you.
I will find you both and stab you. All right.
Bring
Quit
it.
talking over my head.
You ain't got nothing.
Dude, I swear, you guys keep talking smack. I know where you both live.
Bring it, Jared. You ain't got nothing.
Jared, I hope
That's a beard.
I know how the smack talking goes.
Jared, I will shave that beard and smack you with it.
Matt, you're so hostile.